Hopefully they don't fly in the runway, otherwise we're gonna have to kick them up before we take off. Look at them all. They're like, yeah, let's chill here instead. Exactly where you need to be.
We have to go down the runway, turn around, and go back.
Welcome back to the cockpit. If you haven't seen my post recently, I passed my check ride. Woo! And today is going to be my first flight as a private pilot.
Stand by about 60 seconds, please. We'll be right with you.
We are going to pick up our very first passenger, which is super exciting. So we're going to head on over to Dunkirk today and pick up our passenger, and then we're just going to kind of fly around, do a little bit of sightseeing.
Niagara Falls Tower, surface wind is 010 at 7, runway 6, cleared for takeoff. And what's the take? My 42234, departure frequency is 126.5, squawk 5217.
Heading on over to Dunkirk. And the check ride I had was less than ideal weather. It was very windy, very bumpy, not was originally put in the tap. It was very exciting, I guess. I mean, I was a little concerned about it. Thankfully, my DPE was super chill about it being windy and bumpy, so ahead of time he was like, I understand that it's windy, I understand that it's bumpy and you can't maintain. Was really caught with a crosswind, even though I had, 4 different ways I could take off on the 2 strips of pavement I had, but it was exactly a crosswind for all of them, so that was absolutely fantastic. Anyway, so he would ask me questions on the world, and I feel like all I was doing was answering the most specifically hard, in-depth area of it. Like, if the ceiling's at 1,000 feet at an airport, are you able to fly? All he was looking for was no, because it's IFR, and I was just getting into no because you're not in the right cloud clearances, you'd be in the clouds, all this stuff. All this.
And over 234, are you just going to go on course to Olean?
It was just.
We're not sure if our transponder's working correctly, so we were going to go around your airspace. Are you getting us at squawking 5217 for 442234?
I am not. I'm showing you squawking up 0000.
But afterwards, he did say I was very prepared as far as the oral portion goes. In the flight portion, I think everything was kind of nitpicky. It was kind of interesting because for my short field landing, didn't want to miss the mark, so I made sure I planted it in the ground. So of course he ended up saying something about that, but I just didn't want to miss my mark. Obviously nobody wants to fail. I didn't do anything unsafe, but the soft field landing surprisingly was really nice for considering the conditions, which was kind of cool. So he was really excited about that. Overall, it's definitely not as hard as I thought it was, but there was definitely questions on there that I think were really good, like real world questions, like security at airports and what you need to do, for hopefully one day when I have an airplane, who's responsible, who's there for security. It was just kind of interesting to get those kind of questions. And one of the things he brought up was fatigue. What are the signs of it to make sure that, we're not falling into a situation where we're flying when we're fatigued, which I think is very important as well, because that's the big hot topic situation going on in the airlines is fatigue, and it always is, but it's just one of those things that it was kind of good that he went over that. So I'm gonna let Buffalo go in a second here. So it looks like for the winds there, we're gonna use runway 33. I was trying to plan where I would land before my husband gets to the airport. I don't want him to have to wait for me. I'd rather have me wait for him, honestly. So I planned a little extra time. It's currently 12 after 5. I told him that I'd be there, to be there at 5:30. One of the things that happened to me on the check ride when I went to go fly is I had the airplane sitting outside for a few hours. The airplane sat outside in the cold, so when it went time for my check ride, the airplane wouldn't start, of course. know, we're priming it, we're going through all the procedures, priming, flooding, things like that. I mean, these airplanes are really hard to flood, and I knew that, but, you know, you kind of go through the procedures anyways. I will be getting into instrument shortly. I'll be reaching out to the instructor that's going to do instrument for me, or with me rather, probably tomorrow. Today's Easter, so I don't really want to bug anybody on the holiday if they celebrate. It looks like I saw my husband pull in, yeah. That's husband. That's a waving husband. Dale Cumberbatch, do you read?
I read. I read very well, in fact.
Read very well.
Dale Cumberbatch reporting with Blitz 43 News. Tonight's story, to war with Canada.
Sounds concerning.
Should I keep the hat here?
Are you ready, sir? Alrighty then. I can break these off. You always look around at these small, stupid airports because some people will fly around airplanes that don't have any radios. So they can't hear you, you can't hear them. Birds. Birds!
Thanks.
Hopefully they don't fly in the runway. Otherwise we're gonna have to kick them up before we take off. Look at them all. They're like, yeah, let's chill here instead. Exactly where you need to be.
Do you have to go down the runway, turn around, and go back?
No, I mean, I don't need the entire runway to take off. So as long as they're cleared out where I need them to be, then we'll be alright. Dunkirk traffic, Archer 5705 Victor is taking off, runway 33, Dunkirk traffic. Come on. So stupid, I hate this so much right now. Verify. Go. Dunkirk traffic, Archer 5705 Victor is taking off runway 33, Dunkirk traffic. I was waiting for all those birds to clear because when you can't really see what's in front of you when you're climbing.
I mean, it made sense. I feel like nobody should question a pilot that is waiting for birds.
I was happy. I'm like, you know what? I'm hoping if I rev this engine up, it'll clear them off.
What are you doing?
Trim so that you can have the airplane set so you don't have to pull on it, push on it all the time. So it just essentially relieves your pressures.
Barge in the lake.
I like when you look down and you can see all the stuff. Like when you turn around, you'll see it better, like the differences and where the bottom of the lake is. Different shit in there. It's kind of cool.
That is weird being over water.
Isn't it? Freaky.
It is. You don't know where anything is.
Yeah. Can't see a horizon at all. And
I literally could not have told you shit.
Yep. And like it's one of those things where they talk about like the nights and stuff and all of the vision things that happens to you, the artificial horizons, all that stuff. Yeah. It's weird.
Good thing you have instruments.
Yep, and that's why we have this. And off to your right, if you'll see the city of Dunkirk.
Breaking news, the city of Dunkirk is to our right. Dale Cumberbatch reporting. Back to you, Tom.
Back to you, Tom. And you can see the Dunkirk airport we just left from. I thought there was going to be more people disobeying their families and flying as usual on the holiday.
Chumps.
That's like always the talk of the, what are you doing for Easter? What? It's supposed to be beautiful, we're flying.
Just you.
Just me.
Fishies.
Isn't that cool?
They were all shiny.
The only problem is with these airplanes is it's hard, like, you don't get to see anything underneath there.
Right.
And that's like the cool part about the Cub, because you can just see completely below you.